Broadcasting live, it's Cream Pie Sunday.
Oh, yeah.
And now for your hosts, give it up for Josh and Rick.
Oh, yeah.
Jessica Alba with a penis. Hulk Hogan with a vagina. You have to one of them.
I'd rather not.
You have to pick one.
Nah, I'm not gonna pick one.
You gotta pick one.
Dude, it's Memorial Day. You're making me think about a whole lot of emotions right now, and you got me thinking about Hulk Hogan with a vagina.
Yeah.
She would have a huge, cap
Clitoris?
anyways. Yeah, Hulk Hogan would have a raging clue.
Yeah, I got such a raging clue right now. Oof.
We've talked about it before, but the on South Park with the I am a strong woman.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll pass.
Okay. All right. Well,
That was something I saw way back when on like the early internet. It was like but they actually showed the picture. I don't know if it was like real or not, but it would be like a big jacked ball dude missing his hardware, or like a hot Brazilian chick with a freaking hammer. It's like,
yeah.
I'm 12 years old. I can't handle this. They
probably were real. There's that guy Buck Angel that's female at birth. Looks like a dude. Yeah, but he's got a vag.
Huh. Yep. Doesn't ring a bell.
Think Dunkin' Donuts is going to sue us? Product placement.
They might as well. No, they'll give us
should.
free donuts, dude.
Mm.
Just like how Liquid Death is supplying all our free water.
Free Boston cream pies for life, baby. Let's go.
That'll be like a weekly bit. I'll just down a crawler in as fast as I can.
Oh, dude, you
A
could
little
down.
cream.
How many crawlers do you think you could eat in 30 seconds flat if you really had to try?
At least 5.
5?
At least 5.
5.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's an average of 6 seconds a crawler, give or take.
Do I get to drink it with like milk or something? Like, is it Kobayashi mode, or is it like
let's say
pastry?
Let's say water, like the hot dogs, so you could dip if you choose.
Probably get like 4 or 5.
4 or 5.
That's like I'd probably choke, but
yeah,
I think it'd be worth it.
Gotta relax the throat, my friend.
Just let it slide down.
Yeah. So speaking of chicks, dude, who were the hot chicks when we grew up, really? Remember, like, that used to be a thing? Is it still a thing? Or is it not, like, the same anymore? You know, like, there was, like, when you're a little boy or, like, a teenage, like, preteen kid.
Yeah.
Who are the ones with, like, where you're from?
Some of the hot
Yeah.
shit, like, I don't know. I mean, I was into wrestling, and all those, like, female wrestlers were hot as shit.
Yeah.
You know, other than China, because China was just too big and too muscular and too scary. I didn't find her attractive.
China.
But definitely like a Stacy Keibler, or like a Trish Stratus from back in the day. Even Lita was kind of hot.
Yep.
I don't know. I was like that. But I mean, my buddy had a basement full of boxes of certain reading material. So I didn't.
Yeah.
That was just the way of life.
Yeah, dude. Magazines. The old tote full of magazines. Yeah. Back when you actually had to have analog porn, like acoustic porn. You had to actually have an imagination.
When the world is over, the aliens are going to find that shit, and they're going to be like, wow. They were so far ahead of us. Are you kidding me? Still images? That's brilliant, dude.
Yeah. So far ahead of us. Yeah, now there's VR porn, which is wild. Yeah. I mean, you've only done VR a couple times, so you probably never tried the VR porn, right?
No, I've only done the VR like a couple times with you, but yeah, I never did VR porn either.
We didn't do the porn.
I've never seen that. I didn't even know that was a thing, to be honest.
Oh yeah, it's legit too. I think there's a category like on Pornhub now for VR porn.
So does it like 360 so you can like see the camera guy behind him and he's just like
I think that he has a camera mounted on his head or something. Because you can't.
I thought it was like one of those 360 cameras, so you can just like watch from like he's nailing the chick from behind and the cameraman's behind him.
Yeah, no,
the cameraman's just like.
I think like he has it mounted on somewhere on his body, but it's not full 360. It's like 180, I think. At least the ones I tried. I did try it. It's not. I don't even have VR anymore. I just was curious. You know what I mean? And it's weird.
Yeah,
it's weird because, well, first of all, from another human's perspective. So you look down, it's not your body.
Yeah.
Like, you can look down and you're like this chiseled dude with a giant hog. And it's like, I mean, that's cool, I guess, if you want to pretend, but it feels unnatural. It feels weird, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's odd. Yeah, but they have that now. So imagine going from like pictures of a girl like 20 years ago. That was like the best you could get. I mean, I guess they had video, right? VHS and stuff, right?
Yeah. I mean, the first like pornography was back like beginning of film, really. But it wasn't like actual like what it is today. No, not even close. But
No.
it was like softcore, basically. Just like kissing and laying next to each other. Like the stuff that the Mormons do. Like that was
Right.
like rated X back in like the 30s and 40s.
Yeah. Yeah. Rated X. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What does X stand for? Because what is R? Did they even stand for anything?
I think X used to be like the NC-17,
Right.
like back in the day.
Right.
Because NC-17 came out like not recently, but definitely probably sometime during our lifespan. I'm not sure.
Yeah. It's a weird rating because G is generic, right? Or general audience.
Yeah.
And then PG is parental guidance.
Yeah.
But then what is R? Does R stand for anything? Restricted, maybe? Like restricted?
Well, it's restricted. Yeah, because I think you're supposed to be 17.
Yeah.
Or, so yeah, that's the difference is, so NC-17 is actually like higher than rated R. Because rated R,
Right.
you can still go in with like your parents.
Yeah.
But I think NC-17, I don't think you're supposed to have somebody under 17 in that theater.
Right. And that's such a weird age, too. It's like the only age where you have to be 17. Because usually it's 18 or 16, but there's no other. Why 17? Why not just make it 18? You know what I mean? At that point.
I remember in high school, you, me, and Steve went to go see like Wolfman or something.
Yeah.
But you didn't turn 18 yet or 17 or whatever it was. So
Yeah.
we bought a ticket to the theater next, or like the screen next to it.
Right.
And we went into that, like the one that we did want to go into.
Yeah.
And they caught us and they pulled us out of the theater and we just left. That was so embarrassing, dude. Because we didn't just want to risk it and say like, dude, we were all big kids. I mean, I was the smallest out of you and Steve by far. And like, I looked like an adult. Kinda.
Yeah. Yeah. What were we like? 15 or no, we had to have been driving, right? So we were 16 or 17.
Yeah, we're like 17 or 18, but one of us like wasn't old enough to have like a rated R.
Right.
So like we bought tickets to the other one and then they came in and pulled us out.
Yeah, dude. I just remember that fuck coming in with a little light, that nerd, and being like, can I see your tickets, please?
Excuse me?
Yeah. Get out of here, nerd. I'm trying to watch Wolfman. Which sucked. It wasn't even a good movie either.
No, we did make a YouTube video out of it though.
Yeah. Yeah,
That was
we did.
fun.
Yep. Yeah, Steve fucking slammed me on the track. And I'm like cuts on my hands. I remember when he like body slammed me?
Yeah. Yeah, he like frog splashed you, dude, on the ground.
Yeah. Good times, buddy.
That's when there was Chariots of Fire playing and James was running in slow motion and he picks up a pine cone and whips you and nails you in the face. I say that because I've seen him so many times. I can like remember the whole video.
Yeah.
But, it was you, the Wolfman mask, just like clawing people for like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
That was all it was.
Yeah. Yeah. It wasn't even a
That
good
was
wolf
fun.
mask either.
No, it was just comedically bad, but that was funny back in the day.
Wolfman. Dude, we had to keep ourselves entertained, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. And nowadays, kids are on TikTok. Those sons of bitches.
Yeah, get him a camera. Let him do some weird shit.
Dude, I had an interesting couple days.
Fill me in.
Fucking,
Daddy-o.
so get this. My car battery has been dying, right? Over time. And last week, my car wouldn't start or whatever. So I think it's the battery. You know, I jump started. It's fine. It lasts a few days because I drive it for long enough for the alternator to get some charge into it. And then, sure enough, on Saturday, it doesn't start. So I'm like convinced it's a battery. So I jump start it, drive it to AutoZone down the street, right? The guy at AutoZone gets his little fuck tester thing out and puts it on my battery and says, "Oh yeah, dude, your battery's actually good and so is your alternator. They both passed the test." I'm like, that's weird. You know? I only drove here for like 5 minutes. It was just dead. So I make an appointment at a mechanic right next to another AutoZone, right? I call last night. It's a Pep Boys, right? Which, whatever. It's a corporate fucking mechanic, you know. How badly could they possibly fuck me? Boy, was I fucked. So get this. I call and make an appointment for noon today. I jump my car. I drive it down there. I figured at least I'll get a diagnostic to see what's wrong with it. And worst case, I just replace the battery, you know? On the phone last night, the lady's like, yeah, come in at noon. I'm like, okay, well, about how long do you think it would take? I know it's an estimate, but, you know. And she's like, oh, it'll be fine. You'll drive right in at noon. And because you have an appointment, it'll probably just take a few minutes, maybe an hour at the most. I get there today. She's like, oh yeah, we talked on the phone last night. It's going to be a pretty long wait. And I'm like, well, I have an appointment though, right? You know, at noon. And she's like, yeah, we'll have it in there eventually. They finally, luckily, a guy didn't show up for his other appointment. So they got my car in at 1:15, which is already taking way longer. This is just a battery diagnostic. These,
Okay.
So this broad fucking gets my car in there at 1:15, whatever. It's fine. They finally get it in. Turns out it is just the battery. After all. So I'm like, okay, cool, great. The guy's tester didn't work or something. I had a feeling it was just the battery. They come out and they say, do you want us to just start replacing the battery? We'll get you a price. I'm like, sure. They hand me the slip. Guess how much it's going to cost for them to fix replace my battery?
$150.
$580.
I'll drive to you and do it for that much. Are you kidding me?
Including the battery. Including the battery.
Yeah.
Parts and labor. All that. Dude, I can replace a battery myself with a fucking wrench.
Yeah.
So
I did it in January in the middle of the snowstorm.
It's not hard. So I walk over to AutoZone, right? Well, first of all, I say to the chick, well, that's weird because AutoZone quoted me like a good quality battery, like one of the top tier ones for like $230, and they install it for free. She's like, huh, that's weird because we're actually out of stock for the battery. So we're actually buying this battery from AutoZone. I'm like, so you're just buying it from next door and installing it and charging me almost 3 times as much?
Yep, that's what I'm telling you.
And so I'm like, I'm just going to go there. And she's like, all right, well, good luck. I mean, it's the same battery. I'm like, okay. So I go next door, $230, free installation. 5 minutes later, I'm out. But dude, why do mechanics always have to fuck you in the ass? Like, why has it always been a thing? Since cars have existed, mechanics have been known to fuck people in the ass perpetually without any engine lubricant, constantly, forever. And we all know they do it, and they still do it. It's like one of the sleaziest professions you can be as a car mechanic, I think. Have you ever not gotten fucked or tried to get, like, they're trying to fuck you? It's obvious.
It's the same. It's the same with buying vehicles. I feel like anything to do with vehicles, like garages, sketchy. Buying a car, sketchy. Renting a car, sketchy. I feel like everything revolving around vehicles is just bullshit, dude.
It's all a scam, dude.
Yeah. Repair your vehicle. That was like my brakes were screwed up, and I went in for whatever, and he's like, "Well, it'll be like $1,200." I'm like, "Are you serious?" He's like, "Yeah, but you really shouldn't drive out of here." I'm like, "So what are you telling me? What are my options?" Well,
Give me a shitload of money.
Yeah. I'm like, "Okay, well, there we go.
Yeah.
Thanks for telling me, buddy." Like, God damn it.
But they don't even have the decency to like have an appointment open for when I made why am I even making an appointment at this point? Like, I'm just sitting there doing work in like the shitty waiting room, which has no coffee or water or anything. I'm just sitting there with shitty Wi-Fi trying to get work done.
You did have to work today?
Well, I'm just answering emails. I think officially we have the day off, but I'm answering email. I am working. I don't think I have to, but I am. A little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that. I'm not that motivated. I'm not that dedicated.
Well, yeah. You got something else to make.
Guess so.
Guess so. Yeah.
So I told you this already, but I went to New Jersey last week for work.
Oh, how fucking was it, guy?
It was an industrial nightmare.
Really?
It was very I don't know. I don't like New Jersey. I don't like the way it's set up. At least where I was, it was just 2 3-lane highways side to side. And if you need to get over there, you just take an off ramp and pop over. But like so much of it is just, all right, I'm going to go get lunch. I got to fly down this highway for 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Take all these confusing turns.
Yeah.
But the thing about New Jersey that blows my mind is I had to get gas and I forgot that they have to pump your gas for you. And I'm like sitting there and I like open my door and he goes, no. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
No, I pump. And he's like, I pump. I was like, oh, okay, you pump. And I give my card, he pumped my gas, but I was like, I forgot about that as I was like pulling in because I saw this dude with a vest there. And I'm like, is he like picking up a spill or something? And I pull in and it's like, nope, I'm paying for your, he's like, how much do you want? I'm like, fill it, I guess. I don't know. That's what I do.
You know,
I can do it myself. You want me to hop out real quick? Like you can go to somebody else's car. But
dude,
I don't know.
That reminds me, there used to be full service gas stations when I was a kid, like in New Hampshire. And you would pull in, and sometimes there would be a guy that would pump your gas. Not all of them, but like every once in a while. Weird, right? But yeah, it's a law in Jersey. You're not allowed to pump your own gas. What the fuck is that? Like, it's the only state like that.
Well, then I asked my boss, I'm like, do I tip him or something? And she's like, well, no, like they're part of a union. I'm like, I don't know what that means, but I'll take your word for it. I think you're telling me no.
Right.
I don't assume that is what it means, but
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It was just weird. But the other thing is, I was talking about with Emily when I got back, and she's like, well, the other weird thing about New Jersey is you can't take a right on red. Are you serious? It's like
Really?
a law in New Jersey. Yeah.
Huh.
You can't take a right on red unless there's a sign saying specifically you can do so.
No shit. So that's
Yeah.
probably how cops get people all the time.
Oh, yeah. They just
Yeah.
look for the out-of-staters, dude, and they just crack down on them.
Follow him until he takes a right and then nab him. And he can't drive back to fucking fight that in court. So,
Yeah.
yep.
I saw a freaking, it was something in New York, but they put in like a speed trap, but it's all like, what is it? Like hover. It's all like aerial shots basically.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was like within the first 2 hours they ran this thing. They made over like $1 million in fines they're going to mail to people because they're driving too fast. It's
Yeah.
like, you fucking cocksuckers. Are you kidding me?
It is kind of fucked up when cops become like glorified revenue collectors. And like,
Well, it's
that's
just
what it
stupid,
turns
like-
into.
So like hypothetically, if I'm driving by a cop and I'm going 100, well, maybe
Yeah.
not 100. Say I'm speeding.
Right.
Could he call his buddy and be like, yo, this guy's going down Congress Street. Can you pick him, like meet him at the intersection or something? Like, can he say that and pull me over and say, well, we clocked you going 80. I'm like, you didn't. I just saw you pull up there. Well, no,
Right.
the other guy said you did.
Huh.
Is that, I
Good
mean, I'm
question.
assuming that's how it works. I feel
Good
like the first
question.
person isn't always the first person to catch him, you know?
Well, if they can give you a ticket by like aerial, whatever the hell, craft, because you'll see signs that say, like you were just saying, like they can do that. I mean, is there even technically a cop like in the aerial craft? Or is it just like somebody that's hired by the police to shoot fucking lasers at the highway and see how fast you're going?
I don't know. It might have just been like a toll booth something or like,
Yeah.
I don't even remember what it was. But yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
even my roommate in college, Andrew, he got a speeding ticket going through a toll going way too fast. And it was like a hovercraft or whatever they said it was.
Yeah.
Like an
Yeah.
aerial.
Hovercraft.
I can't remember what it's called, dude. It's like, this thing is not my ear at all. Okay.
So, what happened to hovercrafts, by the way? Remember those were a big, like, cool thing when we were kids? Like, the idea of having a hovercraft?
I feel like that'd be something where the technology's already out there and we just don't know it. Like, it's just under the radar.
It's probably just not practical, like, energy-wise to... I mean, there's planes that can hover and shit. Isn't, like, a
Yeah.
helicopter basically that? Like, I don't know.
No, I think because it... So how does a hovercraft work? Does it, like, push air out the bottom and that's the way it stays off the ground? Or does it use some kind of crazy shit with magnets?
I don't know.
You're an engineer. You should know this.
I'm not an engineer. By
You're
no
an audio
means.
engineer.
No.
It's all the same thing.
I went to school for architectural engineering, briefly. Didn't learn jack
What was
shit.
What was your plan with that? Did you want to make bridges?
I liked civil engineering. I always liked it because I'm good at math and stuff. Yeah, and all the fucking nerds at my college would be like, it's the second oldest profession in the world. The first one's prostitution. No. It's like, yeah. All right, you fucking dorks. Settle down.
So
But-
you became a whore.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
Yup.
I wanted to be like an architect or like a designer or something like that.
Well, I'll tell you what. So I live right down the street from Keene State. They have a brand new major starting in the fall. If
Gender
you happen
studies?
to- that's already a thing there.
Of course.
It's also the first university with Holocaust and genocide studies. That's the
Okay.
thing. I was minoring in that for about a year, and then I was like, this is pointless.
Yeah.
They're having a social media major. That's
Okay.
the major is social media.
Like everything
Which-
social media?
How to make efficient content, how
Oh.
to market yourself.
Like
Because
social
all
media
businesses
marketing.
are doing it.
Yeah.
But like I'm watching this video and I'm like, this is stupid. And by the end of it, it's like, damn, this makes sense. God damn it. They're ahead of the curve here.
You know what's funny about that is you can probably learn just as much on social media on how to do it. Like from like
Yep.
tutorials and shit, or even YouTube. That's
Yeah.
what's ironic
Frickin',
about that.
Mr. Beast didn't go to college for communications. He was living on YouTube for 10 years before
Yeah.
he blew up.
Right.
Yeah.
There has got to be a science to it. We got to look into that for our podcast, like when to post certain things at certain times or certain days. You know what I mean? Because I think there is something to that. You know, like web traffic is the busiest on the East Coast on Wednesday at this specific time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I did all the promos for like this upcoming week for 11.
Yeah.
So that'll hit 11 on the East Coast, and on the West Coast would be like 7 or 8. But before I was doing it at midnight, and now to think about it, I bet a majority of the views were from the West Coast.
Yeah.
Going up to midnight. Because who's going to watch my freaking video at 3 a.m.? Because when I wake up in the morning, it's already got all the views it's going to get.
Right, yeah.
Makes sense.
Maybe we can even do earlier. Maybe we could do like 7 p.m., you know? Then it'll be like 4 p.m.
Yeah,
West
I don't
Coast
know.
time.
We'll keep messing with the algorithm, but it's fun, man. I like testing shit out, like using different titles for the promos and stuff, and even just the descriptions and the tags, and it's like a fun little hobby, you know?
We have to look at like which of our shorts do well in the algorithm and which ones don't do well, and try and figure out what they all have in common. What's the one thing that they all have that allows them to prosper? You know?
It's usually the clever title. I think that's the keeper.
Catchy title?
For sure. Yep.
Interesting.
I still think, because our number one video online right now is the Winnie Pooh guy, like, is not wearing a shirt or something. something about your neighbor mowing his lawn, and we were talking about how he's a reverse Pooh Bear. That's got like 900 views.
That was a rough day, dude. That was a rough podcast. I was hurting for a squirting that day. Woo. Yeah, dude. Dude, I was thinking, so I was having this conversation the other day with one of my coworkers. He's an older guy, right?
Yeah.
And I think there's like 2 waves. There's 2 generations of comedy movies. You know, there's like the wave with like Caddyshack and all those guys. And then there's the second one with like Anchorman.
Mm-hmm.
But we were talking about like the funniest movies of all time. And he thinks it's like Caddyshack and The Naked Gun and Airplane and shit. I'm like, yeah, they're funny, but I mean, you know, it's just not my generation. Like, I think Anchorman is way funnier than Caddyshack. But
yeah,
that's like their holy grail, you know? What do you think, like, if you had to pick like your top 3 funniest movies, what would yours be?
I don't know. I pretty much got them in high school, and I've stuck with them ever since. Definitely The Hangover is probably one of the funniest movies, I think.
Yep.
Step Brothers would be in there.
Ooh, yeah.
And then I don't know, man. I always get hung up between like a Tropic Thunder or like a what's the other one? Not super bad. Oh, Pineapple Express. I've seen Pineapple Express so many times. It's just like the humor. So third would be tied between Tropic Thunder and Tropic Express, but Pineapple Express. But those are all old movies, dude. Like, I don't know.
Yeah,
30
dude.
Minutes for Less is pretty good.
Yeah, 30 Minutes or Less was underrated. I feel like nobody really knows that one anymore. You know? Danny McBride is hilarious in that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen Eastbound and Down with
Of
Danny
course.
McBride?
Yeah, hell yeah.
That is a fucking gem. The fact that people don't know that exists is such a shame. That is probably one of my favorite like series. There was only 3 seasons, but dude, that shit was so funny. Stevie?
Yeah, Stevie. I like when Stevie in like season 4, Kenny does well on the show and Stevie's in the parking lot. He's like, I'm so excited. And he like punches a window and breaks it.
He's got glass in his hand and shit.
Yeah.
I like at one point he just like gives up on his life and he shaves his head and he shaves his eyebrows off. He's like yelling at Kenny and Kenny like owns the hot dog stand and he's like, make me a hot dog. And he's, you get your own fixins.
Yeah.
He's like totally no hair on his face at all. It's like, this is hilarious, dude.
Dude, what's the guy's name that Will Ferrell plays? Ashley? Or whatever?
The car dealership guy?
Yeah. I can feel it in my plums. It's like, ripened for the picking. You know?
That was, what was that? Like HBO? It wasn't on regular TV, I don't think.
No, there's no way it could have been.
Or Showtime or something? I don't know.
Showtime, maybe HBO, something like that. Dude, HBO Max changed their name to Max. So.
Do you have that?
Yeah, we have HBO Max, but they just changed it to Max. So I guess it's your move, Peacock. No, you don't get it?
I got it. I was just thirsty.
All right. I'm not saying that joke on stage this week.
No, I wouldn't. You ever hear about the movie Terrifier or Terrifier 2?
Yeah.
It's like
tell me about this before.
Yeah, the clown face makeup, and he's got like the little black hat, and he's got like the dot on the end of his nose. The second one is on Prime right now for free.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god, this is gory, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Like he develops like knives and like razor blades, and he puts them into like the end of like a leg of a table, and he uses that as like a bat. And it's just like gory. Just it takes like 5 minutes to kill somebody in this movie because he just destroys them in every known facet. It's weird, and he's like pushing his thumb through their eyes, and he rips their brain out, and he like, I don't know, man. It's
that's rough, man.
Out there,
dying from lacerations like that. It's always funny. You hear it's like a guy in prison, like, he got stabbed 350 times. And it's like, how's that possible? Like, how long would that take? Like, let's say you get one stab a second, right? Like, and you keep that up. That's like 5 minutes of stabbing, like this.
I feel like the most efficient way is like if the guy being stabbed is really, really fat and there's say 8 to 10 little kids with knives.
Yeah.
And they're just going around in a circle. I feel like you can get a lot of jabs out that way. They got short little arms, not a lot of range of motion.
Right. Yeah, that's true. But they have to be like going at it for, let's say 5 children are stabbing a fat man and he's not moving and allowing them to do it. That's 5 stabs a second.
Is he swinging at him too, or his arms like so fat that he can't even reach down? He's like, get away from me.
Let's say theoretically his arms are tied over his head, right? So
I feel like he's gonna stink. I feel that's gonna make him stress sweat.
Yeah, for sure. And he just smells like So, anyways, these kids get 2 stabs in per second. For 5 children, that's 10 stabs a second.
Okay.
So that's
times 60.
Yeah, I mean, it's 600 stabs a minute, right?
Man, but that's a minute's a long time to keep getting stabbed.
Yeah, dude, a minute's a long ass time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. I don't think I was ready for this conversation. I didn't know we'd get this real. Man, what is your favorite smell? What do you like to smell?
I would say like baked goods. Baked goods is up there. Charcoal. Charcoal is nice, like a fire. But then again, like that'll soak into your clothes. Like if you come home from a bonfire, you stink, you got to shower, you know what I mean? But I like the smell of burning wood and baked goods and maybe cologne, I guess. But then again, not really too much. Must. Yeah.
I had a teacher in middle school. He was a science teacher. He was a weirdo. He was the guy that told us when somebody would sneeze, he would say, sneezes come in 3s. And that whole year, every time somebody sneezed, they sneezed twice more after the first one. So like everybody would sneeze 3 times in his class, and it was weird as hell. He just
like on purpose?
He was like a god. Yeah. No. Just like he would say that, and then it just happened. But he's like a goddamn wizard. Like he's probably doing some black magic on kids or something.
Yeah.
Anyways, he's for one, we were talking about smell or whatever, and he's like, "Yeah, you guys might think this is a little strange, but my favorite smell is fresh baby." We're like, "What?" We're like, and he's like, "Well, not after like right after it's born, but after it's cleaned up and it's like with the mother or whatever." My favorite smell is fresh baby, and I'm just sitting there like,
that's odd.
There will be a documentary about you in 30 years, and I will be the one to say this quote in your freaking intro video, dude. Like
that's
this is
wild.
Serial killer shit. Like that's weird, dude.
I could see that. I mean, I could see where he's coming from. Maybe he's like speaking from experience, like from his children. You know what I mean?
I know. Yeah, that's probably what it is. I don't think he was trying to be weird about it, but the way he presented
it is fucking weird thing to say.
He's got his chest out and he's like fresh baby, and like the room is just so quiet, and it's like that was a long pause that he waited before he said the next thing.
I like the smell of afterbirth.
Good for the garden. Good for the garden.
It's good for the garden. It's good for the gander, baby. Sign me up. Give me a plate. Dude, you know people eat their placenta and shit?
Yeah, that's some hippie shit.
Yeah. They say it's really good for you. But then again, so is liver. That tastes like shit.
Yeah, it also smells like shit when you're cooking it.
Yeah.
It's awful, dude.
Yeah.
You ever have just like random dudes come up to you at the gym and spark up a conversation? And like you become like buddy with these guys because you go at the same time every day and like, yo, what's up, Nick? Or hey, Tom, how you doing? Any of that shenanigans?
Yeah, sometimes. I mean, we have a local gym, and it's usually mostly kids. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Like people that are in high school and college, I think. But
There was a kid back when I lived in Pembroke. There was a kid that went to the health club or whatever in Concord.
yep.
And he was in pretty good shape, but I remember one time he told me, it's like, yeah, man, I used to be over 300 pounds. And he was probably 200 pounds, like pretty like jacked. But he was like a young kid. He was like 19, 20 years old. And I'm like, nice, man. Like, so what? You just all of a sudden wanted to like lose the weight. And he's doing all these crazy like CrossFit exercises like in the weight room, which is fine. But like he would have like a 45-pound plate and he'd lift it over his head 100 times, even though he's swinging his whole body and all that crap. And he's like, nah, man, what it was is I did a bunch of mushrooms. And then I could like feel how fat I was and how like I was basically dragging my body through like just the space. And I felt like so ashamed of myself. He's like, I signed up for this gym next day. And he's like, that was like 7 months ago. He lost like 100 pounds in 7 months. I'm like, holy shit. Like, because when you hear talking like people having experiences with the mushrooms, you don't usually hear about the guy that does it, trips balls, and then says, all right, I'm going to lose 100 pounds. And he had like an 8-pack. He was very fit and like doing it really good. But yeah, he said he's tripping out and it like changed his life, dude. It's kind of wild.
That is wild, man. I mean, you hear about that though. People do psychedelics and, you know, it'll kind of change their whole perspective.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. You still want to do ayahuasca?
I wouldn't mind it.
Yeah. I'm scared.
I would just be worried about losing my mind, but I think if you go into it with a good mentality, it's probably just like going into it with acid or like mushrooms or whatever, just having the right frame of mind.
Yeah, I'd definitely be afraid I'd have a psychotic break and not come back. I think that's my main concern.
Yeah.
You know?
Ooh,
yeah.
I got a burp.
Which, dude, like heavy doses of weed can do that to people sometimes. There's people that I know that just did too many drugs and just, it actually did fuck up their brain. They're just not the same, you know?
I remember a kid that I went to college with said he was like smoking pot for the first time, but somebody put salvia in the bowl instead.
Yeah.
So he took this big rip and then he's like, wow, this doesn't taste like it usually tastes. And he's like, yeah, dude, there's all salvia. And he tripped balls. It's like, you guys are such assholes. That's like, who was it? Ari that gave Bert Kreischer
Molly. Well, he gave him Molly. Yeah.
What a dick, dude. You can't do that. You can't be drugging people. That's ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah. Yeah, Bert's wife still hates him for it, which I don't blame her. I mean, he's on a lot of meds and shit, dude. The guy's got high blood pressure. He's got a giant gut, you know? And then you're giving him, he's a dad. He's not just like a single buddy. And Molly's no joke. You give him a big dose of Molly and it's like, hey, buddy, you're dosed. Like, hey, fuck that. I'm always nervous about getting dosed or something or taking the wrong shit or even like when I would party and go to parties, like I stay away from anything white. Like, dude, it's not worth it anymore. Especially the amount of like, you know what I mean? The amount of
that's definitely been like big in our lifetime was the whole fentanyl thing. Because growing up, that was a drug that I never heard of at all.
Yeah, I mean, it's always been medical, but yeah, and then they started cutting heroin with it and shit, and you know, now they cut everything with it. So, yeah, you can't do coke anymore unless you have a test kit.
I know people that stopped doing hard drugs because of the fear of getting fentanyl in their system. You know, it's like, that's just the reality of it, man. Like that's some nasty shit.
Yeah, and even like famous people that have the ability to get good shit die from fentanyl, like Mac Miller. Wasn't a hit fentanyl? Yeah. Yeah.
I watched on YouTube, there's like it's like a mini documentary, but it's like the last 27 hours of his life. And it's going through all his text messages and who he was communicating with. And he basically bought a girl to come over and bring some drugs. And then the drugs were cut with something else. And then he OD'd. And then these people are saying like, yo, do you think we can get in trouble for this? And he's like, no, we're all set. And like these people are like, no, they killed him and they gave him bad drugs. And it's just like,
fuck,
dude. It's just like a 30-minute documentary on YouTube. It's so sad, dude.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, where did they find him? Like, just in his bed or something?
Yeah, just at his studio. Yeah, he just died. And I mean, even as I'm talking to you, I got a freaking Mac Miller freaking poster right there, dude. The freaking Bases album. You know, it's right there. So
yeah, I like Mac Miller too. He was good.
I liked his. For me, I wasn't into like the frat rap stuff, but the mixtape Faces and like watching movies with the sound off, that was pretty killer. But I think I've always like kind of gravitated to the like part of the reasons why I like Alice in Chains is because the lead singer is dead. And part of the reason that I like Nirvana is because Kurt Cobain. Part of the reason why a lot of people like Mac Miller is because he's dead now too. But it's weird because I don't know. I've always like gravitated towards like that type of music, and I don't know, man. It's just like people are immortalized once they're gone.
It's weird, right?
Like all John Lennon and stuff, you know.
You got to wonder, like, if these people never died, if would they be as famous? Like Nirvana, like would Nirvana be as famous if Kurt Cobain never? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, and the 27 Club and all that. I think what's her tits though? His wife there. I think she might have blasted him one.
Oh,
Courtney
Love.
Yeah,
Courtney Love. Yeah.
I mean, dude, they said they found enough heroin in his body to like sedate a small horse, and he probably was unconscious. And then to have the ability to load and fire. I mean, obviously his tolerance was really high, but
yeah,
I mean, it's hard to shoot yourself in the head with a shotgun if you're sober.
Well, a couple years ago, they had like an animated movie come out about the end of his life, like Montage of Heck is what it was called. And then I forgot what the other, Soaked in Bleach. That was the other documentary.
Yeah, I saw that one.
It was all about like the end of his life and all that stuff. And a lot of the stuff they're saying, they're like, well, realistically, like you said, you know, if you're full of that many drugs, you're not going to fall this way. You know, this wouldn't be over here. The gun wouldn't be over here.
Right.
You know, unless you're like jumping and spinning, you know, if that's the way you're going to go out, you know, I don't know.
Which is hard to do. Yeah. It's kind of weird too. Cause there wasn't he trying to like get a divorce or something? And then he died like 2 days later and she was still like entitled to the money and all this. Like, I don't know. There's some
Well, and then she had like text messages that were kind of like made you feel some type of way.
Text messages in the 90s?
Oh, not text messages. No,
emails?
Like communication. Emails, that's what it was. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yep.
You ever watch like deathmatch wrestling at all? Or
No.
you seen any clips?
Like celebrity deathmatch?
No, just like actual people like covered in blood from getting light bulbs broken over their head and stuff.
No.
Okay. That's kind of I don't seek out that kind of stuff, but it's something I saw a couple days ago was it's over in Impact Wrestling, which is like one of the smaller promotions. And these guys were all bloody. They're having like a death match or whatever it was. And there's barbed wire and there's broken glass and thumbtacks and Legos and all sorts of weird shit.
Yeah.
And the one guy is laying in the ring, but his head is over, like hanging the outside of the ring. So his head is just kind of cocked back. A guy comes over with one of those more like industrial staplers. Not just like an office staple, but one of those where like the staples are going to like be in there pretty good.
Like a staple gun?
Staple gun.
Yep.
Goes up to this guy, staples his mouth shut.
Oh my God.
With the staple gun.
Oof.
And then ultimately like the guy gets up and, he hits him back and he's down or whatever on the ground. He goes over, he grabs these pliers. He takes off these he rips these staples off of his lips. He had like 5 or 6 staples across his mouth.
God
and
damn,
then
dude.
he's just bleeding like a pig and he's just like covered in blood. And I'm watching this and I'm like, I opened Instagram and this is what, I didn't even scroll.
Yeah.
This is just what I saw. It's like, holy crap, dude.
Damn.
It was kind of cool, kind of funny.
Yeah. That's wild, dude. Fuck that noise.
Yeah, some of those like I don't know how much like backyard wrestling goes on nowadays, but back in the day that was pretty fun stuff to watch. And it was usually the crap that you could buy on like VHS tapes at somebody else's house. It's usually that was like before YouTube and shit too.
Yeah, dude, you had to do it the old-fashioned way. You know, nowadays. Dude, something pissed me off. I want to talk about. So, I don't like when people use the word adulting, but in a serious way. Like, when did adult become a verb? You know, like people will go online and be like, "Oh man, I have to pay all my bills this week. Adulting is so hard. Adulting sucks." It's like, bro, you're 33. You know.
Well, that's like saying being an adult sucks, but I mean, that's
mostly
like
everybody's an adult.
That's like saying life sucks. You know,
pretty sure 90% of people on Earth are adults, right? I mean,
yeah, I think so.
Probably, right? Everybody's an adult. Everybody has bills. Since when does doing things that require responsibility, like they have their own has its own verb now? Like adulting, like, man, got to change my car's oil. Adulting. So what, you're an adult. Just change your car's oil, you fucking wuss.
And the problem is it's not even, I want to say that's a mass generalization of everybody younger than us. But like you said, it was a 33-year-old who's older than us saying this shit.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of people say it like, oh man, adulting sucks. What do you mean? Like being an adult sucks because you have to do things?
I don't know. People just say things that make me feel uncomfortable. Like when I hear somebody in their like late 20s say no cap.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I still say, dude, that's flame. I say that just to be so ironic because it's like the lamest thing to say. Like, dude, it's fire. That's fire, dude.
Fire. You know, there's like all these new ones like TikTok, like on God for real. Like they'll do like the no cap on God for real, you know?
Yeah.
Like when did white kids start saying no cap? Like it's normal. It's been like 4 years maybe. No cap. No cap.
Or dead ass. That was the one that I heard
Dead
in college
ass.
all the time. That's how you knew somebody was being serious. If you're at a party and you're both hammered, dead ass. You're like, this guy's being dead ass, you know?
I think that's like a Massachusetts thing though. I think that's pretty normal for like the East Coast, you know? Like that's been around. That, you know, like dead serious, dead ass. Like that's, I mean, if that's in your vernacular, fine, but it's like all the new stuff. You know, another one like everyone says low key now. Like, yo, low key, that's actually pretty dope. Like low key. What do you mean low key? Is it dope or is it not dope? It's not low key if you're fucking saying it out loud. Like you completely changed like low key. What do you mean by low key? And then people will be like, yo, high key, that's going to be dope. Like, first of all, high key is not a phrase. You're just taking low and changing it to high. Like, what's the difference between low key
heard
and
high key?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. People say high key now. Yeah, it's like a new thing. But, yo, low key, though? Low key. Well, low key, what do you mean low key? Like, yeah, oh, secretly, I kind of think this, but don't tell anybody? Because that's what low key, like, let's keep it low key. What does low key mean? Are you just saying it because you're saying it because it's like a thing to say now? Like, shut the fuck up. Low key. Low key, I'll beat your ass, you fucking cracker ass, fucking stupid fucking. Jesus Christ. I can't keep up with the kids.
I feel like if you're going to say something low key, you need to whisper it. Yo, low key.
Yeah.
Like you're about to like drop a biggest shit in the middle of like a Target and you're just like, yo, low key.
I kind of have to take a shit.
I can't even walk fast right now because I'm about to drop a dookie.
Yeah, that's a normal way to use low key, right?
Yeah. Yeah, like a dookie in Target. That's like the go-to.
Yeah. 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 Target, man. Woo. Target's getting hit hard right now.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The fucking the tuck friendly in the pride sections of Target, because they have like the whole pride section and all that shit.
Well, even so I drove back. Okay, I didn't drive back. I was passenger driving back from New York today, and then we went out to Hannaford's to get groceries, just doing whatever.
Yep.
And there must have been Memorial Day stuff. I didn't really notice it, but just randomly over by the lobster tank, there was like a pride tower of like rainbow napkins and rainbow plates and like a pride cookie and this and that. And I'm looking at this, I'm like, this is a 12 by 12, like little display for pride stuff.
Yeah.
By the lobsters.
Right.
I don't even feel some type of way. I was just observing it, and I pointed to Emily. I'm like, "You see this?" She's like, "Yeah." And then I'm like, I don't really have an opinion on it. I just kind of noticed it, but it was kind of strange that they just kind of have that next to the lobsters.
It's like, you know, a weird placement, dude. It's just like a random. Yeah, I feel like every department store, grocery store, all has to have them now to prove that they're. You know what I mean? You have to be on the right side of things. But it is weird that. I think it is a little odd that they have like baby onesies with like pride flags that they're selling at Target and shit. You know, but what are you gonna do?
That sucks, man. The rainbows are cool. You know, I like rainbows, but I'm not part of the community.
Right?
So,
yeah.
whatever.
Can you still wear? You can't wear a rainbow though, because then they'd assume you are, and that's.
I'd be getting my ass grabbed all day after that.
Yeah,
that can't happen again.
Yeah,
it's like Bible camp.
Like Bible camp all over again. Yep.
Pastor Thomas, no.
Yeah, they took the rainbow, man. They took it over. It's theirs. They've earned it. They got it. You can no longer wear rainbow unless you're part of the community. I guess you could if you say that you're supporting it. But I think people would assume you are. Dude, that's funny because I had this rainbow tank top with palm trees on it. It wasn't like really rainbow. It just was color. Like it was very bright and colorful. And I liked it. I liked the way it looked. I'm like, whatever. So I wore it to the gym in Long Beach. And And dude, my gym was right next to this place called Hamburger Mary's, which is a burger joint that I had applied to be a bartender at. And I went and I'm like, this guy's really nice. Like the guy interviewing me and stuff. And then I look behind me and they're doing a drag show. And I'm like, oh, this is a gay bar that does drag shows. I had no idea. And then and then I realized Hamburger Mary's. Like, yeah. So, anyways, I didn't take that job just because I didn't want to, but it had nothing to do with, I would work at a gay bar. I don't care. But so I wear this tank top to the gym. And then I hear on my way back out of the gym, I'm walking back to my car in the parking garage. And I hear behind me like, excuse me. And I turn around. I'm like, hey, what's up? And then the guy walks up to me like, can I get your number? And I'm like, oh, why? What? Do you need something? And he's like, no, I just wanted to see if I get your number, if we can go out sometime. And I'm like, oh, no, dude, I appreciate it, but I'm heterosexual. I got a girlfriend. I'm straight, you know. He's like, oh, okay. I'm like, what do you mean? Oh, like he was surprised that I was straight. Then I realized I'm wearing this colorful fucking tank top. And I'm right next to Hamburger Mary's, which is next to my gym. And I'm like, fuck, I've been wearing this thing for weeks. Does everybody at Gold's Gym think I'm gay? You know, because I'm unintentionally sporting the pride flag. It wasn't even like a full
back
rainbow.
and forth the buildings, just like getting a burger and then
yeah,
working out.
Burgers and bench press, baby.
Work out.
Yeah, it's not a bad lifestyle. It's really not. You're in great shape. You got a lot of protein. You know what I'm saying?
Picture that on like a sitcom. Like, what's up? My name's. Well, give me a name. Zach. My name's Zach. I eat burgers. I work out, and I chill gay dudes. Mm-hmm. I'm 23. What up?
Yeah,
but
dude.
I'm not gay. Yeah.
I'm not
make
gay.
Good burgers.
So what? All my friends are gay guys. They're cool. Yeah. I was actually friends with a couple gay guys when I was in Long Beach. So there's a big community over there. Big gay city, you know? Yeah.
Yeah. My fraternity in college, there were several men that were my brothers that are homosexual. They're cool dudes. I like those dudes.
Yeah, I love gay
like
people.
Everybody.
Whatever. I like it. If you're cool, you're cool. Who cares? But
I mean, just because you're in my fraternity and I'm supposed to have a certain respect for you means I don't. But I mean, there's definitely people I interacted with in college that now look back and like, dude, you're a freaking loser. Or like,
yeah,
what are you doing?
Yeah. You know? It's always weird when you're like in your early 20s, late teens, when somebody's a little older than you, you kind of like respect them in a way, but then you get to their age and pass it and you look back and you're like, that guy was 25 and he was doing that. And now I'm like 30 and he was not cool.
It's weird how you can get to this age and all of a sudden realize like, oh no, that guy's a creep. Like that kid's a weirdo. He's always been a weirdo. High school, he was a weirdo. When he was in college, he was a weirdo.
Yeah. Yep. Dude, it's weird. Like girls that are, I'm not attracted to girls that are like even under 25 anymore. You know?
It's weird.
It's like strange.
Yeah.
It's like, you know? So.
Which makes you feel some type of way about like the 50-year-old guys that go after like 21-year-olds. Like that's kind of weird to me.
Like she's too young for me now, dude. You know what I mean? Yeah, like strip clubs make me really uncomfortable now. Like I was never a big strip club guy anyways, but dude, this girl's like 19 years old. Like I'm all set, man. It's odd. I don't want to be here.
Yeah, I mean if somebody has to say like, oh, don't worry, she's legal. Like I feel like you shouldn't be watching. You know, like if you need to be clarified. Yeah. Like I don't know, man.
Yeah, if it's a toss up, too young.
I've never been a fan of the strip clubs either because I mean I went to one last year in Colorado and the guy I was with like worked there. He was like the photographer and it was weird to have a girl come up and be like, hey, you want a lap dance? I'm like, no, I'm all set. And I'm just like pounding beers or whatever. I should have, whatever. And,
yep.
And the guy's like, oh no, I know him. And then I'm just like talking with a stripper, just like buddy. She's like, okay, well, I'm going to go. I'm like, okay, see ya.
Yeah.
But I'm just like chatting up this chick that I'll never see again.
Right.
Just because I'm like friends with like the guy that works there or whatever. But it was weird how, I don't know.
Yeah.
Even that conversation was strange. I'm just like, oh no, I'm from New Hampshire, you know, and she's like, she's got like singles in her bra. I'm like, God damn, what a freaking wacky time this is.
Yep. Yeah, I had some fun at strip clubs. I've got a few funny stories about them, but it's just not, it's not something I don't seek them out. Like I went to a strip club once, and me and my dad and my uncle and I forget who else, but we were drunk and we wanted, hey, you want to go to a strip club or whatever? I'm like, yeah, I guess, we went. But I was like, yeah, this is just weird. I don't know. It's depressing because it was like Friday night, but it was slow, kind of. It was 10s or something like that. And I mean, I got no problem with strippers. Do what you got to do. I dated one by accident once for a few months. I don't know if you remember that. I didn't know she was a stripper, but yeah. And then you go down to Boston because the rules are different in Mass. Went to a strip club in Boston, I think with James. I forget. We went down to visit him or something, and a couple of us ended up going out to a strip club.
Yeah, I don't know. I wasn't there. I was there that one time we went after the Bruins game.
Yeah.
We went to Bedford.
Oh, yeah.
It was not their A crowd.
Yeah, dude.
Let's just say that.
Yeah. What was it, like a Monday night or something?
Yeah, it was like a Tuesday night at like 9 o'clock.
Yeah. What was that place called? What was that place called?
I don't know. I remember the one in Baraboo, Wisconsin. It was called Cruisin' Chubbies.
Ooh.
So I've got stories from my uncle about going to cruising Chubbies.
What the fuck was the one? Oh, the Gold Club.
The Gold Club. Yeah, because you had to buy a shirt.
Yeah,
because you're under 21. That was dumb, dude.
They let you come in if you're over 18, but you have to wear a red shirt, so that way they know not to serve you. And it was like a bunch of red shirts sitting around, and this hag of a stripper comes out. It's like 50 years old, and she says, "Would you guys just come from a blood drive or something?" Like, Jesus Christ. And then there's this fat black stripper, and I'm talking to you guys, whatever. I turn my head, and you guys all put your ones in front of me. And then she turns around and she said, "Oh, thank you." And she starts dancing on me and stuff. I'm like, you motherfuckers.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Well, friends, you heard it here first. The most important topics of today's times. Thank you for listening to yet another episode of CPS. And we look forward to seeing you in a week, motherfuckers.
Bye.